Hello, guys. Welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. This is another show, part of our open studio sessions. Of course, it's me, Alex Whiteley, and I was going to say the Biscuiteer joining me today is Dee, but like we've got this is all Team Biscuit now. But yeah,
it's all of us.
Is Dee Dee? How's it going, Dee? You good?
It's good. It's good. You're right.
Yeah, I'm great. I'm doing what I love to do. So
I like how we do this. We've literally just done a show together about a couple of minutes ago. We're like, hi, how are you?
Yeah. As if we haven't just done that. I've got two gentlemen I'd like to introduce to you. We had this idea of seeing if there are any photographers out there that would like to use the Biscuit as a platform to hone in on the skills and let us all sort of benefit. I say that as if I'm not like, can we just have free photos, please? But we decided to get two photographers together to help us out because we are an audio show that uses a lot of local visuals as well with our pod art, and we've got lots of promotion to do coming forward. I'd like to introduce our new photographers, James Warman and Phill Morris. Thank you very much for joining the team, guys.
Great to be on board.
Pleasure to be a part of this.
Yeah, well, we're pleased as well. And James, like you came on the show before, we had a good conversation. I gotta say, if I asked you what you were going to be doing post lockdown, whatever answer you gave you is now a lie because now you're going to be doing stuff for the Biscuit. So
the Biscuit, yes.
How have you been, James, since the last time I spoke to you?
Good, not too bad. It seems like only yesterday, to be honest with you, when I was last on. But I'm doing all right. Although I did have a spell of not COVID related, but I came down with all things the shingles, which wasn't very.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
But I'm over that. I'm better. So fighting fit and raring to go.
Good. I'm glad we didn't drag you out to a studio somewhere to come and speak to us. Do this on the comfort of our own home. Now, Phill, you do an awful lot in the community, don't you? I mean, I've seen pictures of you. You work a lot with Shrewsbury Town and the community. Where does that start for you?
Well, I struggle with mental health myself, and I'm passionate about helping others with that. And they do a heads up on a Thursday, and I got in touch about joining that and getting involved. And I've been a part of that and I just wanted to do more and give back to the community. So I do my volunteering now, help with the loneliness stuff, help with the mental health, and just anything that they want, really, because I just want to give back. And it's the same way I wanted to get involved with you guys, because I just help the community and do my bit, really, because do an awful lot for me, and I want to help the area that I live in and work with.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's very similar to sort of the motives why we're all kind of doing this. Is Shrewsbury is just a great. It is a great place. I mean, you can look at someone like Shane who's been here all his life and he's going to be like, yeah, whatever. But he doesn't know any different because he lived here all his life. I haven't. I've lived in places all over the place. I've lived in Wrexham. I lived in Telford. I've seen places that I just didn't have the connection with that I do with Shrewsbury. It's just, I say it all the time. It's just got this, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I just fall in love with it. So let's do what we can.
I think it's also the fact that it's not just an amazing town. It's full of like really interesting people.
Yeah.
It was like I had someone yesterday who was talking to me about the streetscape people. And I was like, we've had them on, we've spoken to them. I was like, it's one of my favourite podcasts that I've been involved in is when we did Streetscape. Yeah. And and there's some, and constantly it's like I came onto the podcast to meet amazing people. I've lived in town all my life, a bit like Shane has, but me and Shane are from very different backgrounds that we like to make sure we remind each other of.
But I like that. I love that. You guys from two complete different universes. Let's use that, and we do, and it's beautiful when you guys are like, he's like, oh, you're typical Tory, and he's like, oh, shut up, you. It's just brilliant. I
have to remind him he lives in a Tory town. He lives in a Tory town.
Yeah, embrace it, Mr. Hinton.
But I do find what you've said. I mean, I'm local, so I've lived here all my life. And you do kind of just take it for granted, the town and what's going on, and it's only when you meet people from outside the town that come and they point things out to you that is right under your nose, and you think, oh God, yeah, I haven't really appreciated that. So yeah, it's interesting to have somebody else's perspective on the town. It certainly is.
I think we talked about in a previous podcast about the difference of living in Shrewsbury compared to other towns. It was like way before this, calling it a panorama, this pandemic that we're living in, when you could go to places like Birmingham shopping, the difference in the kind of people and their interaction with each other is astonishing. It's like in Shrewsbury, if you're going into a shop and you're following someone, they're always going to hold the door for you most of the time. Isn't it? But you go other places and they're like, no eye contact. It's like nothing at all, not here. And we're still in, are we, well, Whiteley, you'll know, are we still in the top 10 of best places to live in the UK?
I think we are, yeah. I think let me check that now. I'll bring that up. You guys talk about amongst yourselves while I bring that up. But no, it's... I think it's really hard. You can't stereotype an area. You can't, right? Okay, so I mean,
no, you can't. No,
I've been discussing this for a while now. I've been doing this thing with the microphone for a while now. We talk about different areas. I like to find out what is the UK's version of Florida, right? Because Florida in America has got this reputation. But I'm pretty sure if you look deep enough into any state in America, you would find just as many oddballs in Texas or in New Hampshire or in California as you would in Florida. It's just the fact that as soon as you hear Florida, you're like, crazy Florida, you know. It's the same for the UK. It's the same for the UK. Years ago, typically it used to be Liverpool. You'd be like, yeah, well, hey mate, how's it going? You know, the
I apologise. You're going to have to get used to his voices that he does. It's quite a common thing.
I just swore. I just swore. My bad.
He got a beep. I
got a beep. That's a very unfair stereotype. Liverpool is one of my favourite places in the whole world. I've travelled around the world, and Liverpool is one of the best nights out. The people are friendly. There's food of every kind you can go and get. There's a show you can go and see. It's just an amazing place. So it's an unfair stereotype.
Yeah, and it seems to be quite compact. It seems to be quite small. You know, you can visit.
Yeah, for such a large area. Everything is you can walk around. Like I know when I went, me and my friends went for a walk along the water. They went for a meal, and then we ended up in an outdoor shisha bar. And this is in the UK. It's so weird to have, and it was such a fantastic night out. But we didn't have to taxi anywhere, and we walked back to the hotel. And it's such a big place, but everything is a bit like Shrewsbury, really. You would think Shrewsbury, you look at it on a map, you're like a large area. And I say to my friends, I was like, get dropped off in the centre, wherever I am, you'll be able to walk it.
Yeah, that's it. And that's like great city, fantastic city.
So Phill, what is it? What are your specialties? Because we're asking for photographers. A few people got in touch, and we spoke to you, and you were like, I've got a drone. I like to do this, and I like to do that. You seem like a guy that's got many skills. Is that a good thing for you, or do you like? Is there something that you would like to focus on that is your thing?
Well, I got all this equipment. It's whether I can use it. That's another thing. It's I've got like a drone. I used to have a gimbal and all this fancy equipment, but I don't have a specific skill set. I sort of do things. I'm trained in photography and this. I used to find when I was at college, it was ornamentation and finding my own way of capturing life and everything. I'm not a portrait photographer. I don't like that sort of thing. I can't pose somebody, but I'll happily take candid photos and just capture like the world, if that makes sense. But I'm a big fan of just photography really is my thing. But I like to do surreal. That's probably my special area. But I'll take anything. I'm happy to switch up and do photography, really.
Yeah, it's a very positive outlook. And I appreciate that. I mean, the other day I was kind of like, I need artwork. I need a picture for artwork. And you were like, oh, I'm in town. I can do this. I can do that. I was like, and this is what I loved about it, right? Because I do want people to see your styles. And when we did interview for this position, we only wanted one really photographer, but we spoke to James, we spoke to Phill. James I know very well. You got two different styles, you two different levels of your sort of career and life. If you could say that with being respectful, but I like that. No, I'm saying Phil's young. There you go.
Okay.
So
I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it at the moment.
But like, I like that. I love that you guys can probably learn off each other. We can have a style for one thing and one for this.
Absolutely.
Because you guys are artists, and I want people to see your art. That's the most exciting thing.
Yeah. Well, see, for me, I find like I can switch my style to suit whatever somebody wants. I've done a lot of freelance work, and it's never I'm shooting in the style that I like the surrealism, the slow shutter speed. That sort of style is specific to me. Like how I
was going to ask you about shutter speed photos. Yeah, I do.
I
love
do
shutter speed photos.
And I'll have to show some. I've got some slow shutter speed that just captures how I'm feeling. I go out and I'll take some of that, and it just expresses how I'm feeling. But then, like, I've done stuff for Nick Knowles, DIY SOS. When he had the thing, I went opening night, took his portrait and everything, and captured the opening night. And it was just a completely different style, but I would just switch my work. So I just find like I'm capable of doing any different style, depending on what people want. Like I'm one of the reasons why I've wanted to do this for the Biscuit is because it's challenged me to look more specifically into like people's lives and stuff, and challenge me to capture people. So I'm all about developing my skill set and getting better as well going forwards.
I always think that whenever I look at any photographer's work, because you do get some photographers that do dilly-dally in different types of photography, but they all tend to have like that certain look. They're kind of like trademark feel you get from them. Like we've had photographers on the podcast before, and you look at their photography, you go on their Instagram and you kind of like do get their vibe. And some of them will be landscapes and will be portraits, they'll do shutter speed, but you kind of like get that feel. And when Al showed me both of your work, you did have your kind of like, you could tell what was yours, Phill, and what was yours, James. And because they are kind of like, they're so different, but you're going to have people who are going to see them, and you're going to have your own like kind of like followers in a sense, or where they go, that's my kind of thing. Like I know when I go down Twitter and I'm looking for pictures of shows, this is before you guys came into this, and I was looking at certain ones, and I noticed I was always clicking on the same person over time, and I didn't even notice for ages, and I'd always be like, oh yeah, like that, and I'd go on to go like, oh, it's the same person every single time. And it was just saying about their artwork in a sense would just draw me to it. And you're going to get so many people that look at yours, and they're going to have like the same people going like, love what they do, isn't it?
Yeah. And what I love about photography, I've said this before, is that you can get a group of photographers in one place photographing the same thing, say 5 different photographers, and you'll get 5 very different photographs. And you may even think, well, they're from totally different days or different places. It's just so interesting how as individuals we all see the same thing, but we all see something different, and it's how we capture that. So yeah, obviously
it's all about perspective as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. But I'm one of those that like you go to like we've all probably been to London. We've seen everyone taking a photo of like Big Ben. I hate when there's a group of people trying to take the same photo. I'll go and like off my camera on the floor and take an angle like that, or I'll go and climb something. I can't stand having the same like shot as somebody else, so I'll always go out of my way. I did this at college, and they hated me. Like, there was
you're that guy, are you? It's you. You're the guy I always see when I'm out in London.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
surfing a red bus
just to try and get the photo like up. Yeah. Now, when I was at college, I went so extreme. I wanted to take this photo of one of my my other students. It was like levitating photography, but everybody else was taking a picture of somebody like lay on something, photoshopping it out so they looked like they were levitating. I went to Asda, brought 2 helium balloons, a canister, and I lifted my my partner up. I went a bit extreme. So.
Wow. So you bought helium balloons to lift someone up?
Yeah, I went specifically on my lunch break to buy a whole canister, load of helium or a load of balloons, and just levitated them that way. Didn't want to use Photoshop.
The thing is, you should have taken a photo. You should have taken a photo. That would have been amazing to see. That's brilliant. Like you were saying about like when people go to a certain location and you'll get loads of people there and they all take photos, all of them be different, or you're annoyed at people who are all basically all taking the same photos and not putting their own kind of touch into it, not looking at it for what it is. There's a certain location in Shrewsbury where I'm pretty sure everyone at some point, everyone knows someone who's taken a photo there. And I know this so well because I used to live on the row of houses by the English Bridge called Marine Terrace. And the amount of people that would stand, I lived with a black front door, literally on my doorstep. So if I wanted to get out with my wheelie bin, I had to have like, excuse me, to take a picture of this. Yeah. And it's absolutely everywhere. And I've got a picture of that view from my old living room window, looking across the river from Townside, looking at the English Bridge. And the picture wasn't even taken by me. I went to the flower show and there was a photographer there from pictures of the town. I was like, that's from my old front doorstep. And he gave it to me for free.
Yeah.
But you see that you Google it and you Google like Marine Terrace or English Bridge and it's always from that same view, but every picture is so different based on the time of day and all stuff like this, but everyone's got their own little touch and it is amazing how people can work a camera to make that happen.
Was it like having the paparazzi camped outside your house all this time if they were
It got worse than that. It got to the stage where you'd have people taking photos. We once had, when we had the floods, we ended up being on the BBC because they were literally doing a weather from my front doorstep. I opened the door and the guy was there and I was like, and he was like, shall we come in? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he was like, there in my kitchen, we were all flooded. And that picture, I think, is still on Google Images now. But it's just, oh yeah, you get my point. You get my point. Yeah.
That's what's, I mean, for a photographer, I guess that is the best thing about Shrewsbury. It is so picturesque, isn't it? You know, you never, there are millions and millions and millions of pictures of the dingle, but nobody gets tired of dingle pictures, do they? You know, St. Chad's poking at the top of the dingle, you know, you get those pictures. I used one a couple of weeks ago because it was stunning. It's a picture I'd seen a million times, but the composition of it was just like, it was just fitted at the time. And I was just like, okay, that's great. What are your guys' favorite places? And I think I'll probably asked this before with you, James, the best places for you to take photographs in Shrewsbury.
Good question. It's a very good question.
Yeah, that is a trick. I suppose it depends on the kind of mood I'm in and what kind of photography I'm doing at the time. I mean, I guess you know, the river is so dominant in Shrewsbury. You know, it's virtually surrounds the town. So I guess anywhere along the river, whether it's photographing it in flood, whether it's sometimes you get these beautiful, still, calm evenings, and it's like a mirror. So anywhere where it's catching the light, catching street lamps or anything like that, usually sort of around the quarry. So I'd probably say somewhere along the river would be my go-to spot for photography. But as you said, there's just so many locations and places.
Yeah.
What about you, Phil? You got a favourite?
Well, I'm gonna have to say the football club, otherwise I'm not doing my voluntary work. So
the football ground. I love that.
Yeah. I have to say there just for the work purposes with them. But no, I'm like James, the river for me, because I'm a big lover of wildlife photography. I'm trying to get that into my portfolio. When I was in Shrewsbury the day, I was down by there taking photos of the ducks and the swans, and I just like it. I find it peaceful, and it's like my mental health photography. Like, it's either the water's very calming, or I'll go up to like Warman Hill and go in the wood, take photos up there. So it's with you, James. It depends on the mood and what you want to capture. Too many places.
And also, you can be in the town centre, you can be in the quarry, or perhaps the other side of the river where the school is, and it feels like you're in the middle of the country. They've got I know there's longhorn, or there certainly used to be longhorn cattle grazing on the fields on the other side of the river there. And you could be completely lost. You can hear woodpeckers, you can see buzzards flying around, you can...
It's very rural, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And you think, well, 5 minutes walk and I'm in the centre of the town. It's crazy. Yeah.
One of my favourites, it was a picture that I went to take, and it shocked me actually, because I'd never really ventured to that area of town before. It was Nigel Baker and me did an open the voice tours that we did. Shrewsbury's Open, there we go. And one of the castle. And so we went in the castle, we did our bits, we came out, and I wanted to take a picture. So I'm standing by the gate to the castle, and I'm looking back into town, and you got that beautiful yellow building on your left. You got the library on your right, and you've just got this amazing shot of it looks like it's been unchanged for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
You take that picture now, and it wouldn't look much different apart from the Ford Transit van that's curling around in the street. It wouldn't look much different now than it did a few hundred years ago. That's one of my favorite places to take a picture. And it's a picture you can take a million times again and again and again, and it won't ever change.
Yeah, that is a good spot, because you pretty much you stand there, and it doesn't matter which way you're facing, you're gonna get a good shot. It's just incredible little spot.
And this is me and Dee on the previous show. We're just talking about the big town plan, and the stories that we've been hearing about possible. It could be rumors, it could be complete hogwash that everybody's talking about this the Granada Theatre possibly being renovated and half of it being knocked down to make stuff. And that's sort of the best way I can describe it is to make stuff with. And I'm like, no, let's not do that. Let's renovate it. Let's turn it into. Let's restore its glory, because that's what you do when you go to Shrewsbury. You look at the old buildings, you imagine what it looked like back there, way back when. And Shrewsbury Heritage, they I'm sure they would, or the Civic Society certainly with Bibbs Cameron will absolutely applaud the opportunity to take that theatre and restore it back to its glory. Please save that theatre, please. Don't turn it to a block of flats. So,
I would have such a good idea of what to do with that, but no, I need the money.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
We were talking about before. We were saying that Whiteley wants to turn it into the new Biscuit Studios.
I want a sugar daddy to buy me that buy it for me, renovate it for me, and let me just run Biscuit. Yes. No, it needs to be a theatre. It needs to be a theatre. It needs to be go back to what it was. I wouldn't turn it into an old cinema. I'd have it as an extra theatre in town that maybe you can have amateur dramatics there, so people I don't know, whatever.
Well, I definitely think it is something doable, because we've only got Theatre 7, and Theatre 7 has the 2 places in it, and it would be amazing to have another one. It's like you could say we don't need another cinema because we've got Cineworld, but we do have one in the square. We've got the old original building, and it's got a small cinema in there for certain viewings. And if no one's ever been there to go and watch a film, you have to go. It's an experience. You get big comfy chairs, and the screen's not going to be like Cineworld or Odeon or anything like that. But I love it. You sit down with your hot chocolate and your cake.
I went to watch Jay and Silent Bob reboot in Birmingham in a cinema that was behind a cafe, and I had a great time. It's in Digbeth. So I'm sure, and there's the what's the theatre that's in the town square? There is a little one.
The Whiteman,
the Whitman, Whiteman, Whiteman, that one. There is that one as well. But you're right, Dee. Let's put some money into the arts, because I feel like they've been attacked a lot lately.
So I want to ask a question. Right, what got you into photography? Because I've dibble dabbled in photography before. I've worked as a photographer's assistant, but it's not. I like faffing, really, and my taste is saying that I feel people love to criticize. And so at the moment, I was helping some friends before we were in lockdown to do like a comical calendar and everything like that. It's very crude. But it was all so much fun. But what got you guys into doing what you're doing now, as well as like the taste how has your taste in photography evolved? Did you start in a different direction? Has it changed?
Yeah, well, I guess for me, it's a case of I say I'm always taking pictures, even if I haven't got a camera. I know that sounds weird, but I'm always noticing things and seeing things. So it's kind of always been there. I mean, I was given a camera when I was very young, a little Kodak Instamatic, and I loved that. And just, it's always been part of my life. And so I'm either out with my camera taking pictures, or I'm out noticing things and just mentally taking pictures. So that's how I got into it, and my kind of style. It just evolves. I mean, Phill was talking about, he doesn't. You kind of try all sorts of different styles of photography, and that's the great thing about it. You can be a photographer, you can learn your trade, you can learn how a camera works, and then there's a million and one things you can do with that. And so, at the moment, I'm sort of tend to lean towards nature photography and woodland photography, but street photography is a big passion of mine, as well as live music. But ask me in a couple of years' time, it could be something completely different. That's the beauty.
Yeah.
Beauty of it.
Yeah.
What about you, Phill?
For me, it started when I was very young as well. My dad came home and brought me this little point and shoot camera, and it was the best thing in the world. Like, I was out taking terror photos, let's be honest. It would just taking everything. And then it sort of died off. I was very sporty as a kid. Football was my thing. I was playing football every weekend. So it went down that. I was always like, I'm going to be a professional footballer, as you are as a kid, that's what you want.
Yeah.
I had this opportunity to go represent town when I was at college. So I 100% took that. And then I was just like, this isn't what I want to do. And I saw photography was being advertised as a course, and I was like, go for it. I used to love it as a kid. Let's try that as a career path. Because there was part of me that's I've always been a big film buff, being interested in how they work. So I went and did photography and just opened a world of possibilities. And since I started that, I want to go and be a filmmaker. So that's my area. I have to go to film school, and just, I'm not sure where to go. Director, cinematographer, that's what I wanted to do. That's what I still want to do. But it's just like we said, James, it's just trying different things. But I found that the slow shutter stuff was my way of expression. So photography is showing me as a person. That's what I use it for, and it's just experimenting to show that.
It's about, I can't say because I'm not a professional photographer, but I think it's about seeing parts of the world differently to everyone else, right? So seeing like what you did with, because I said to James, to Phill, sorry, so it begins, getting the name wrong. I said to Phill, go and just take some pictures of landmarks. I want to introduce spring, introduce you as an artist. This is what I want to do. Spring is an introduction to life. You're joining the team. Let's do that. So I was like, express yourself. And you sent me this beautiful picture of a close-up of Charles Darwin statue outside the library. And it was just, I looked at it, I was like, Jesus, I've walked past that statue so many times. I've looked at it, I've taken lots of pictures of it, but never to get right up close and take a picture of this fella. A black statue, yet you can see the whites in his eyes. And it was just beautiful what he did. And I could never look at that and think, let's do that with it. Like you come up with the ideas. It's imagination, right?
Yeah.
And just for the record, I did not climb the statue. I was stood in front of it and zoomed in. So just in case the police listening.
Get off my statue.
I think it's such a well-known statue in the town. I think a lot of people also forget about the statues that are behind it on the library, you've got those two schoolboys on the library. And what a lot of people don't understand is that you see that in the background of so many photos. Like yours is a close-up, it's a whole different thing, but so many people do take pictures of that statue. That is, the two schoolboys in the background are actually from when the library used to be part of the boys' school. Well, now it's actually mixed, but Chauffeur School. And one's wearing a hat and one's not wearing a hat. And basically it means that one's a new boy when you wear a hat, and then when you're not a new boy anymore, you take the hat off. And so a lot of people don't say, so they look at all these statues, go, oh, Darwin. And yours is, from having that kind of perspective, is brilliant. But you get so many people that take photos and go, oh, Darwin, not forgetting that there's history all around just that statue.
This is D going, make sure you take a picture of those boys, they're forgotten, all right? Don't forget the boys.
They're forgotten now. Forgotten boys.
Have you seen the statue of Darwin up at the school, up at Shrewsbury School?
Yes, by the schoolhouse.
Yeah, and it's a young Darwin, because most of the images you see of Darwin is of this older man with a big bushy beard. But it's quite a dynamic pose as well, isn't it? If I remember rightly, it's kind of. It
is. Yeah, they've got positioned right outside schoolhouse, right up at the high end of the school. It's on the other side of that building that you would normally stand on the other side of to take pictures of the Shrewsbury, isn't it? Yeah. But it is a young Darwin, and it's such a good one. And you do see pictures of it, but I don't know whether you can actually go and see it because it's on private property. Not sure.
We're friends with the Shrewsbury School.
I walked through.
We'll see. I'll write to him, but hey, it's the biscuit. I'm the biscuit guy. What's the problem?
I'm the biscuit guy.
We'll just flash out a little. We'll have like access all area passes for Shrewsbury. We'll just flash.
Biscuit business, like the FBI, you know.
Biscuit business.
Yeah.
Please make that a thing. # biscuit business.
I've used that before. Biscuit business. I'm sat in a cafe doing biscuit business.
No, that's
so
brilliant.
Original. So when say like we go to the flower show. By the way, when things like the flower show, Oktoberfest, the folk festival, when things like that do come back to us, we are going to be there in a big bad way. I mean, I'm going to turn up we're all going to rock up out of a news van in the movies.
You're going to know we're there.
Here. We're going to be there. We're going to camp out. We're going to be there for the whole day, and I want everyone with us, right? So when we do that,
Whiteley's going to turn up like Regina George out of Mean Girls. Like, get out of my way, I'm here, people.
Word for the biscuit.
I was going to say Ron Burgundy, but all right.
Ron Burgundy, yes.
That was a bad choice. So we get you two together, and we're saying, right, okay, go and do your thing, right? Let's just. Do you guys have a conversation that's in like a secret photographer code? I'm going to do the flim flam over there.
We have hand signals and like special code. Yeah.
So do you wink and then pull your right ear or something?
There's got to be.
She's on to us, James.
There's got to be a certain sort of talk or a language that you guys understand that you could say. Well, I want to get the thing over there with the finger and we can be stood there and be like, what are they talking about? Does that happen with photographers?
Well, most of the decision is rock, paper, scissors to decide on who shoots what. Cause, it's either that or a fight to the death.
Well, we can't have that at the flower show.
Yeah,
I don't know. You definitely get the name out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
James is standing there with a chair, waiting in the air.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're just a general discussion about. We have different views on how a photo. So I'd imagine that when we're there, James, we'll just have a discussion about what is there and what we want to capture, and have probably like a list from you, Alex, about what you specifically want.
I was going to say probably as a group we'd have a discussion as a group of what do you call it? Biscuiteers.
Biscuiteers. You are now Biscuiteers.
A biscuit tin. As a biscuit tin, we will have a discussion about what sort of images you would want, and then I guess between Phill and myself, we'll say, well, we'd have our favourites. We'd say, oh yeah, that's a subject I want to try. So we'd try that, and we'd just divvy it out between ourselves based on our strengths. Take it from there, I guess. But as for a secret language, I think it does get like that when you start talking about gear. You get some photographers that are very kit and gear orientated, and they'll start talking about different focal lengths and stuff like that, which if I'm honest, I tend to glaze over a bit when people start talking about that.
Well, there's going to be like whenever we do these things, like when we did a blank moment. We did that show, didn't we, during the pandemic?
The virtual show, Shropshire virtual
show. Yeah. And there's 110 things to document with photos, and we're always having to remind each other, like, oh, get a photo of this, get a photo of that. And that's why having you guys is absolutely brilliant, and having both of you as well. And Whiteley has been saying about maybe doing YouTube, so obviously getting videography involved as well as just photos. And you both got your own strengths. Yeah. I'm sure between you'd be like, you know what, this is my strength, and then you go, this is my strength, and you can easily between you two guys work out. And I'm sure over time we'll start being like, right, we're doing this, I'll take Phill, you're doing this, you take James, and to see where your strengths are. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like I said, I've wanted to be a filmmaker for so many years now, so YouTube appeals to me. If you want film, I can step up to the plate in that area. That's what I like to do.
I do have a very important question, and it is really important, probably the most important question of the whole show, and is, how do you make something that's dog ugly look beautiful?
Photoshop.
You've grown a beard. I can't grow a beard.
This is just
you've grown a beard. So 50% of your face has disappeared, plus your hat. All you've got is your eye showing. Me, on the other hand, geez Louise, you're going to need more than Photoshop.
Oh,
just a black filter.
We'll have to start calling you Lovely D. Let's say it's Lovely D. Probably a bit misogynistic, but hey. No, yeah. So James, someone like commissions you to do a piece on their dog, for example. I don't know, and it's just a dribbling, horrible thing. How do you take that thing and make it look mighty?
Well, there's beauty in all things, and so it's just trying to find it. I often say that some of the best photographs come from not just a photographer that knows their camera, knows about light and all that sort of stuff, but it's important to know the subject as well. Mm-hmm. So it can be very difficult just photographing something that you've just been presented with and trying to get the best out of it. So say for example a portrait of someone, it's very difficult to photograph somebody, say a formal or casual portrait, if you've only just met them. So it's part of the skill of the photographer, or certainly portrait photographer, would be to sort of chat to them, get to know them, get them at their ease, because most people don't like having their photograph taken, so there's a barrier. So it's less about the technical ability of the photographer and the camera, and it's more about personality and just understanding your subject. I think that's how anyway. There's
that amazing scene in Gary Oldman's, is it Churchill? The Churchill movie that Gary Oldman did, and there's lots of conversations back and two with Winston Churchill. Is that it? Or was it the? I can't remember. Is that film, or is it the royal family thing, The Crown?
Oh, are you talking about The Crown? Is it The Crown? The Crown. Churchill was in The Crown. He had a painter, didn't he?
That's it. Yes. Yes, I got them mixed up. Where the portrait, the artist would spend a long time getting to know Winston Churchill, and he released the portrait, which was like Churchill at his most vulnerable. And I thought, wow, after all the time that he spent getting to know and sort of working out every single curve and angle of this guy's face, and he did that, was an awkward moment.
There's an interesting. I can't remember the photographer, but there's a photograph of Churchill taken during the war, and he's quite defiant. He's stood there. He's looking quite mean and menacing, looking into the camera. And the story is that he's famous for having a cigar all the time. Well, the photographer's taking photographs of him, and he had this cigar, and he set the camera up. And just before he took the photograph, the photographer went over to him and just pulled the cigar out of his mouth, went back to the camera and took the picture because he wanted that expression. He wanted that, how dare you? And it's a classic photo. If you Google it, you'll see this defiant Churchill just standing there. I think he might have his hands on his hips or something like that, but it's because somebody's nicked his cigar.
That's brilliant. People who are able to do action photos like that, like in the moment, that's something that I've never been able to achieve at all. Whenever I take pictures like that, it literally looks like it's been taken on a night out and I'm really, really drunk and one of my friends, their arms blurred. But to be able to take action photos that look like they're purposefully done that's a talent and a half. Yeah. Anyone who can do that.
Yeah. Well, we've got many adventures to go on over the next forever. So I am very happy that we've got a great team together. I feel like we're missing one more. I feel like we could do with a proper social media person that can do that. Yeah. Just take control, because I'm useless. I mean, I have controlled the Instagram from the beginning and it's done okay, I guess. But like, I feel like I could do so much more because I work so hard. Like, I have the Biscuit, I have you, Suck, I have a family, a full-time job. It is hard work doing all this. It's hard work doing this for one network, never mind two. So sometimes I'm a bit lapsadaisical. I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered today. Let's just put a picture of my shoes on Instagram. I don't know. It's hard. So I feel like we need a social media sort of person. So if anybody wants to sort of get in touch and do that, because then I think the team will be complete, because then we'll have people to produce stuff for social media and then someone to put it on social media and the voice talents of the Biscuit.
Oh god, here we go people.
Well, at the same time,
it's the Biscuit guys on it again.
The Biscuit guy. Yeah. So thank you very much for joining Team Biscuit, and I really do look forward to working with you guys.
Well, thank you. It's great to be on board.
Yeah.
Excited to get started. And
yeah, you sent me some pictures today, haven't you? Or they're on their way.
They're on their way.
Yeah. We'll have a look at them, because I mean, if anybody's going to listen to this from For the Love of Shrewsbury, by the way, who has been supplying pictures for us, I mean, what I tend to do was I'd be like, guys, I need artwork for the Shrewsbury Biscuit. Here's what I like to do. And then I would then get I think it was over 100 comments that back in November, people sending their pictures in. I used that same post and those same comments for months. The last picture I chose was from Chris Shirk, Shrewsbury From Where You're Not, of one of his rooftop shots.
Yeah.
And that was from that original post in November. That's how amazing the people of Shrewsbury are and how proud they are of this town. So I want to say thank you to anybody that supplied photographs. I mean, we'll probably use them again. We'll probably be like, I'm a panic. But moving forward, I would love to use your work, Phill and James, just to show you people what you can do. You're members of the Team Biscuit. You're great photographers. Let's show people what we can do.
Excellent stuff. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. This has been great. Dee, have you got anything to add before we skedaddle?
I've talked so much during this one. I get like this when I get really passionate about something. I don't shut up. I know, but I'm like, all questions, all this, all that. I did want to ask one thing though. It's a bit random. And I know there's a lot of photographers in Shrewsbury who will go the whole of their lives and not get a picture of any of the otters. Have either of you guys got pictures of the otters yet?
No, I haven't. I've seen them.
I am very
Phil said something.
The otters Phil, what was it? Say again.
No, I am a massive fan of otters. I've got one tattooed permanently on my leg. I love them. I would love to work with them. I've seen them once in Shrewsbury Wild down by the Wakeman, and I've never seen them since. But I will happily camp down by the river. If you want a photo, I will stalk them. I will happily just. I love them too much.
They come out of that little bit
But I've not
that
seen them.
is down near.
Hold on.
I know where they are.
Hold on.
I know where they are.
Right, okay. Phill, you're not allowed to take orders from D anymore. That's it. You're like, okay, yeah. Go camp out about 4 days. Yeah, crack on. I want a picture of an otter.
Yeah, sure.
What people get wrong is that they come out
That's
just randomly in the middle of the day.
You guys are great.
Yeah, never take orders from me. I'll come with something ridiculous. I'll be like, go and camp on the very top of the Stiper Stones. I want the sunset and the sunrise, and it has to be in the middle of the winter.
Done. Happily.
And I'm like, I want to get the no nonsense stone on the Welsh Bridge. Go and get that one for me.
Yeah.
And Dee's like, right. James and Phill, separately, I'll give you a chance for people to look at what you guys do and to sort of judge, because that's what people do. James, tell people where they can find your work and what they can see of yours. We've done it before.
Yeah, okay. Thanks. So I have a website, which is jameswarmanphotography.com. So that's all one word. And Warman is Warman. And I'm also on Instagram. You'll find links on my website, but my Instagram tag is, my main one is at James Warman Photos. I have a couple of accounts, but you'll find the links there. Thanks.
Nice. Phill?
Well, my website's currently under construction, so I won't pass that out because I'm still working on it. At my Instagram, I have like an alias. Is that the correct word?
Yeah,
a fake name for my stuff. Yeah, I am ghost_art on Instagram, and same on Facebook, I believe it is. But I'm sure you'll put the links out. I don't like to use my own name. I like to have something creative. But yeah.
So I am ghost_art.
Yes.
Okay, you broke up a little bit there. Make sure you check it out, please, guys. Support.
Sorry.
Art. No, yep. It's all right. It's fine. If you want to pay your internet bill, whatever, it's up to you. I mean, it's fine. Totally. I'm joking.
We've just changed provider, and it's just horrendous. What you get for living in Ludlow, I guess. So.
Oh yeah, I get it. I'm Ponsbury. It's shocking.
It's awful, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, there are ways to use your initiative. I don't know. Put parachutes on geese and just chuck them out of windows and use them as recept. I don't know. Whatever you guys do in the sticks there, you know.
Sorry, what?
I don't know.
You're right there, Whiteley. You okay?
Do you understand? The last 2 hours, I've had to pull this show out of my backside. What's been going on? I've had to reschedule things, and my mind's just turning into bacon right now. It's been one of those weeks. You guys are fantastic. I feel like we're going to have such a great time. We're going to get out of here, though, because we've got to get ready for the next one. But guys, please check out our website as well, which is www.theshrewsburyBiscuitPodcast.co.uk. Made for us by our friends at Web Orchard. And it's great website once the guy who runs it catches up and puts everything else on there, but it looks beautiful. Made for us by Web Orchard. And if you need a website, Phill, make sure you go to Web Orchard. They'll sort you out. You know? I'm going to get out of here.
Thank you.
Guys, it's been fantastic. Catch us next time.
Cheers, good.
Peace out.
Cheers, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.